Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to this week's mixed media tutorial with me, Lisa Taggart. I'm calling this one Passage, and it's quite a colourful scene with a little fairy going on an adventure. I use watercolours, pastel pencils and paint pens, so if you're interested in how this developed, let's first of all look at the materials. We've got our hot pressed watercolour card, which is great for stamping. We've also got the Kuretake watercolour paints, and this week I'm using with this little palette with cadmium orange, Erlen, I think that's called, olive green. We have indigo, maroon, and where my thumb is, cerulean blue, and I think those are the colours I ended up using. We're also using our pastel pencils, or soft pastels. This is the Stabilo set, which is well loved. Lovely bright colours in this set, which I enjoy using for colourful scenes. We've got fallen leaves, medieval blue, rainforest, and golden meadow, but a dark and the golden meadow would be enough for the VersaFine Clair. We've got the masking fluid and a very scruffy brush. We've got our circle template for the sun, and also a ruler and a pencil to mark out the initial landscape. Moving on then, we've got the pastel fixative, which I'll use at the end of the pastel stage. We've got diamond stickles for the fairy wings, a dark Stabilo oil pencil for some shading. That's the brush I'm using for the watercolours. It's a number 10 all-rounder, but any large brush would do. I'm using the Posca pens in green, blue, pink and orange, also my yellow gel pen, and some sparkle pens in red, blue, orange and pink. Now for the stamps. I'm using this lovely Druid's Pass Bridge and the Vine set, some red pine large and small, tree stem, Ninia, and also the fairy buttercups. So if you want to convert all of those into something that looks a little like this, just keep on watching. So to begin, I've cut the card down to 6 by 9 inches. I've also marked out the sun using my template, taken my ruler and my pencil and faintly drawn a line just above the halfway mark, about an inch above that. I've also drawn out very roughly, sketched a little river, and if you want to take a screenshot of that to copy that, you're very welcome. So the next steps then is to do some stamping, and this stamping I'm going to then later fill in with the masking fluid and let that dry before I start the painting stage. Now, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, I tend to break every rule in the book when it comes to watercolours. All I'm doing is laying down the light patches in the first layer in the painting, and as you can see, I do that very roughly indeed, and I'll build that up with some more colour, and I'm really placing down the dark and light tones, and it's not pretty by any stretch at this stage. It really is a rough first draft almost of the colour, and it's important to me to have the different values in terms of dark and light. And I also like to mark out in the landscape the areas where the sun might be hitting the grass, etc., and we'll gradually build that up. So this part that I'm doing now is really a very rough sketch of background, trees and leaves, and I'm allowing it to mix the blue, the dark blue, with the yellow to create this nice forest green colour, and just seeing what happens really, and gradually building it up. It is very rough, and I do apologise to those real watercolour artists out there. This for me is a first layer, and when I'm finished I'll have a look at it, because I know that the next stage is the pastel pencils, and that's where the scene becomes refined and things are enhanced and fixed basically with the second layer. I thought I'd pop back in at this stage just to explain the colouring that I'm engaged in. Now, you'll see me adding down reds and purples and browns and all sorts of colours in these trees, also in the bridge as well. And the reason I'm doing that is there is a sunset or a sunrise going on in the background, and that is shining through the low-level trees. And I'm thinking that a lot of those sunset colours will be reflected in the bridge, in the landscape, and in particular the trees. So what I'm trying to achieve is dark to one side, and where the light is hitting the trees, I'm adding in the oranges, reds and yellows, really just to pick up the light in the picture. And with the pastel pencils, it's easy to blend and to go over what you've done until you're happy with it. So I'm starting that process, as you can see, with the oranges and reds on the top of the bridge. And later on, you'll see me use the sparkle pens to enhance what I've done with the pastel pencils. Again, I'm working very intuitively with the pastel pencils. I'm just looking at what I have and building up what I like, and dulling down what didn't work, and just doing that very quickly and very intuitively, and hoping for the best as usual. off camera, I use my sparkle pens to enhance the flowers by doing little swirls in them, really, and also a few touches on the blue flowers as well. I also use them at the side of the trees, which you may see in the background. Lots of reds and oranges just to enhance the pastel that I used earlier, and I also used some orange on the bridge as well, which you'll see at the end, and I'm currently adding some foliage for a little extra texture.
But I believe in something untold, and I gotta know if I'm going insane. Life in the wind, and it's calling my name. It's magic, wouldn't you know? It's something fantastic, wants to be you gotta do is be willing to look for it. It's magic, alive in my bones. I've dreamed of infinite things, and reality seems so limiting. The wonder and mystery's calling me, I can't escape. 'Cause what if the song in my soul wants me to know that it's magic? Wouldn't you know? It's something fantastic, wants to be known. And all that you gotta do is be willing to look for it. It's magic, alive in my bones.
Now the project is complete and it's mounted onto black and an aqua colour card, and you can see I've used the diamond stickles to colour the fairy's wings. I've added a few touches in the flowers so it catches the light, and along the top of the bridge as well you'll see it twinkle. I've added a touch of diamond stickle there as well, and hopefully you can see the different textures and it just how it becomes a bit more lively when you add the dots of pink and yellow and orange and all the rest of it. So I hope you like this week's project, and I hope you'll have a go yourselves and make your own version, and don't be afraid of it. Just gradually build it up and see what happens. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. So if you enjoyed today or if you've learned something, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Also leave me a comment and hit the thumbs up button, share the video and all that stuff. This project's for sale as usual. The shop links are below, along with my Amazon storefronts if you need art supplies. I get a small commission if you do that. So until next time, take very good care of yourselves, and above all, get creating, be brave, and enjoy the adventure.
Somewhere,